Liebelt, good to see you. Jump on in. It's Friday. Aren't we excited about Friday? We love a good Friday around here. All right, come on in. If you're on the replay, let me know you're on the replay. Let me know where you're coming in from. I always love knowing that. It's so much fun. Like y'all, we gather from all over the country, countries. It's kind of crazy around here. And my name is Kirsten Liebelt. If you don't know who I am, totally possible. Like very completely possible, right? So my name is Kirsten Liebelt and I live in Minnesota. I have been here all of my life, except for 8 years in the 90s. We lived in the Black Hills of South Dakota and we loved that area of the country. We actually went back there just now for the 4th of July and it was amazing. Good morning, Terry. She says, good morning, ladies. Happy Friday from New York, Maryland. Good to see you. Ontario, Janet. Good deal. Another Canadian in the house. Hey, if you ever need, just to let you know, and not that you ever even care, but just to let you know, I have a special like Canadian link for people who are from Canada. So I just want people to know that because like, it has to be a little different. Florida, woohoo! Hi, KK, is it Sale? KK Sale, good to see you. I love this. This is very, very exciting. So, raised by a type 2 dad, Italian, tons of obesity and type 2 in my family, like everywhere. And that was my life. I just didn't know anything different. My dad was actually diagnosed with type 2 right around the time that I was born. And then he was gone when I was 30. So literally my whole life was like insulin vials and hypodermic needles, et cetera. And then which followed then heart surgeries and emergency this and emergency that and kidney dialysis. And then he was gone at 63. So this is why I'm so opinionated. I'm so passionate and I am a collector of testimonies and it is a really good world to be in. Let me tell you, Patty, happy Friday, sweet lady, right back to you. Bonnie, hi, I am back from New Brunswick, Canada. Woohoo! That's fantastic, Bonnie. Good morning, friends. Good morning, Jody, Jan. Happy Friday, Jan. I pray you're healing like supernaturally really fast. Very, very good. Thank you, Susan. Hey, I just sent you a note I sent you a voice text because I didn't get your messages on Messenger. And I'm like, oh, I hate it when I don't see things. So anyway, thank you. She says I'm an inspiration. Naples, Florida. Oh, number one, I really love Florida. And we have a leadership that we're going to go to in March. So March to go to Orlando is like twist my arm, right? Because Minnesota. But we have friends that live in Naples and they just love it down there. And I just am like, oh, such a beautiful area of the country. And so that's awesome. I love that so much. Good morning, Magda. Good to see you. Everybody's in the house. Okay, jump on in. We're going to do, this is one that you're going to want to share if you have anybody in your life that is questioning whether or not they're insulin resistant, whether maybe they just started their journey and they're kind of like, I just didn't know. I didn't know about those symptoms. I didn't know whatever. And every day we do this Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Central. We talk about insulin resistance and how it impacts your life, but with hope and encouragement to turn it back around. So I love listening to people like Dr. Ken Berry, Dr. Eric Berg, Maria Emmerich, etc. And so today what I want to do is I want to talk about the hidden signs of insulin resistance that no one else is talking about, or very few. Like it's not super common. We didn't even know the terminology insulin resistance a few years ago. Like nobody was talking about it. And now I've even recently in the last couple of years, I found somewhere online, I don't know where, it doesn't matter, but it just ticked me off because it was like, there are no signs of insulin. What are you talking about? There are no signs. What planet are you living on, right? And before I jump in today, I'm going to do something a little backwards because I literally just got an email right before I came on live from the company, and they were talking about, so this is for anybody that is already in the customer campaign, or you want to become a part of that so that you can get money off. You guys, like they're giving so many, it's crazy. Like I almost need to see it on my, I need to take a screenshot of it so I can lay it out for you. But basically, like when you purchase 150 or more in 3 months in a row, they immediately take that $75 off that third month. But it's even going to be more than that. Then January, do it again that fourth month, it's going to be another $50 off. But then you have to understand that you can go October, November, December, get $75 off, another $50 off in January. But because you started January, February, March, October, November, December. I don't mean to be confusing, but I want you to not miss out on this. Do not miss out on this opportunity to be consistent and be on a wellness journey. Okay. And then I'm going to dive right into content. October, November, December, $75 off. Do it again in January, another $50 off. But because you already did October, November, December, now we're going to go January, February, March. You got that 50 off in January. March, you're getting another $75 off again. So I'm just like, I want you to just track with me, okay? You're just going to have to trust the process a tiny bit, but you're going to get like so rewarded over the next 6 months to be consistent and on a journey. And most of you, not all of you, most of you are doing the total body reset. 6 products. I'll talk about them at the end, okay? Most of you are, but not all of you, because this is for any products. This doesn't have to do with just me, but I just like, oh, you guys, like take the winter, take the season that's being handed to you on a silver platter and be like, I'm going to focus on me. I'm finally actually getting rewarded to have a little bit of consistency in my life. And I'm going to take care of me because I'm tired. I'm tired because I take care of everybody else. I'm not tired of other people, but sometimes we can get weary in being a caretaker. And I know this from experience. All right, let's dive in. So good to chat with you guys this morning. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Lee says it's beautiful here today in Louisiana. I love that, Lee. Hi, sweet friend. Barb from Ontario is on. Oh, man, we're just having a party. The sun is shining in Minnesota. How much better can this possibly get? That's what I want to know. Okay. I'm very, very easily amused. So let's jump in. So everyone talks about, we talk about it a lot because it matters. Belly fat being a major sign of insulin resistance. Maybe fatigue, right? There's a lot of things that just kind of common that we chat about. But the ones that really sneak up on you are some that I'm just going to mention today. And hopefully this is going to trigger something in you, or you're going to be able to go, oh my gosh, yeah, that was happening a few years back and I just didn't know. Well, if we can get the word out to people, if we can get this kind of content out, then people like myself, who was insulin resistant since my 20s, being gestational diabetic, hypoglycemic with my pregnancies, maybe I would have paid it, maybe not, because I have to take personal responsibility, but I didn't do anything for like almost 30 years. So here we go. So the ones that you think are just part of getting older, usually you think that it's just from stress. You probably think that it's maybe just hormonal. And don't get me wrong, this weight loss is a hormonal conversation because insulin is a hormone. So it is. But when they're actually your body waving a red flag, that's really what's going on. It's like a, hello, this is what's happening. You're insulin resistant and you're not paying attention because nobody told you to. Okay. So these are the signs that I missed myself. Okay. Until I learned what they really meant. So we've been taught to look at like fasting glucose and A1C or your weight, and all of this is important. These are not unimportant. However, long before anything rises in your sugars, your insulin hormone has been high. It's been up. Okay. Long before. So think of like your body is whispering to you before it screams at you. Okay. So this is such a common conversation and it makes my heart super sad because it's like, no, your labs are fine. You're doing good. You're doing good. You're doing good. And then all of a sudden, seemingly Oh, you're pre-type 2. Gosh, we have no idea how that happened. And then they just put you on scripts, and you don't just go on Met. You go on Met, and then you usually go on an HBP med. Then you usually go on an STATIN. And then because an STATIN can cause sadness, then maybe you go on an anti-sadness. You get my drift, right? So you get put on this suite of medicines. It's a suite. And that's why I then come on and I talk about a completely different suite of supplementation. Okay. My dad was on a suite of medication. His was a lazy Susan fullness of a lazy Susan full of medicine. And I just, after he died, I was just really like, that was dumb. I was mad. My kids were 6, 3, and 6 months old, and I was mad. And then other people in my life would talk about somebody in their family having type 2 and how they're doing nothing about it. And I'm like, I was angry. I'm like, that was selfish. And it was, now this is just me in my world. You have to understand, I don't think that way of people who have type 2. That's not what I'm saying at all. Like, you guys know my heart. But it's, for my dad, it was, he didn't know because he was doing what he was told. It was the beginning of the system telling you how to deal with diabetes that we didn't have before. It was very rare. It wasn't common. All of a sudden in my dad's generation, it became super common and everybody had it. And so then now it's like, oh, they just throw pills out there like there's no tomorrow. And I am determined to counteract what's happening. And I always have to be careful, right? With my verbiage and everything, because there's a lot of power, right? So I am determined to counteract by telling people, this is not a terminal diagnosis. You were never meant to die from this. My dad did at 63, but you aren't meant to. And it's a 100% reversible. And you don't have to take it from me. I'm not the doctor. But then you go listen to people like Dr. Ken Berry and Eric Berg and Dr. Kiltz, et cetera. Go listen to the heart surgeon, Dr. Philip Ovadia. He's done over 3,000 heart surgeries and will tell you that they are lying to you about what foods are actually causing heart disease. It's not red meat. It's the insulin resistance caused by all of the high processed, refined, and just high carbs in our society, high sugar. And it's like shrapnel through your blood vessels. Okay. So number one would be a puffy face. And I know that we can always wake up with a puffy face. I went out and I ate last night with my husband. We had Mexican food. We went out to dinner. And sometimes I never know because, I already know they're cooking with seed oils. I just don't have them in my house. But, I already know that they're probably using, obnoxious amounts of salt. They're probably not using pink Himalayan salt. Let's just put it that way. Now they might be, but most likely they're not. And so I'm like, I could be puffy. I wasn't. I'm so thankful. I was totally fine this morning. And when I do eat out like that, I did like fajitas and then I do the meat and the whatever. And it was amazing. But a puffy face or swollen hands in the morning. So insulin is holding on to sodium and fluid. You may not know that that's what happens, but it's holding on and it's causing inflammation. So if you have high hormone insulin in your body, it's holding on to sodium and fluid and it's causing inflammation. So you wake up thinking that you had too much salt, but your body's actually holding on to water because insulin is high. So my body processed whatever I ate last night really well. I'm excited. That's really good, right? Number two, waking up at 3 a.m. This might be a sign that somebody didn't know about before. So your liver is actually dumping glucose because insulin is not working. Your body's not functioning like it's supposed to function. And your body literally jolts awake at 3 a.m. And your liver is dumping glucose because your insulin can't handle it. So it's dumping it into your bloodstream. Okay. So you think it's maybe anxiety. You might think it's like menopause. You're like, I just can't sleep anymore or whatever. But your body is trying to balance your blood sugar in the middle of the night. So when you're insulin resistant, your liver is dumping glucose, bam, right into your bloodstream. And you're like, and your body's trying to balance like this. Okay. Next one, number 3, brittle nails. Hold on. Brittle nails, rough skin, or bumps on the back of your arm. Does anybody have bumps on the back of your arm? Brittle nails. Anybody? Rough skin. Maybe you can feel the alligator skin. Well, this could be a nutrient deficiency. So zinc, biotin, fatty acids, they are blocked at a cellular level. And this is a cellular conversation. Everything I talk about is cellular level conversation and hormonal for fat loss. Because if you can't get your insulin and to take the glucose and put it into the cell, it's a fat storing hormone, but it's the cell that it can't get into. So it's cellular and hormonal both. That's why when you fix the internal system, you get your body to deliver you results. You literally get your body to go, here you go. We're actually going to burn fat now. Here you go. We're actually going to decrease the visceral fat underneath that fat that you can pinch right here. Your body delivers. Okay. So brittle nails could be you have a leaky gut, holes inside of the lining of your gut because of insulin resistance. It causes it, right? So now you have nutrient deficiencies, zinc, biotin, fatty acids. So you add more collagen or lotions, but it's not a surface problem. It's a cellular one. So you're like, oh, I'm trying to like add another lotion on my arm because I'm bumpy or I'm alligatory or whatever. Or, you're trying to fix your nails by putting oils on them. And I'm not saying that doesn't feel good, right? But it's an inside job. It's an inside job. That's why when I talk about the total body reset like this with the gut primer, primo of importance, because if you get your gut to function, if you can support the healing and the sealing of your gut, if you can get that inflammation to come down and you can start absorbing those nutrients again, your body goes, I can function, I can fire. All the connectors are connecting like they're supposed to connect. Okay, so those are the first 3. Let's see who we've got talking. Heidi, it's cool and sunny in Southern Ohio. Yeah, it's like I woke up this morning and I looked at the weather, 28 in Minnesota, 28. OMG. Good morning, Heidi. It's so good to see you. Let's see here. Shirley, girl from Ohio. Shirley, I was telling my husband about you yesterday just because, okay, so this is a little commercial interruption here. We went to what's called in Minnesota, it's called the Landscape Arboretum. It is the horticulture division of the University of Minnesota. It's a very, very beautiful piece of property that is meant for growing. Like, okay, if you've ever eaten a Honeycrisp apple, the University of Minnesota has created that apple and many others like First Kiss and whatever. They've created these apples. It takes like 20 years to come to market, right? But they do all of the hybrid plants. They do all of the flowers. And I mean, it's a gorgeous place to go. My mother worked there for 15 years as an executive secretary before she retired. And then she lived to be 94. She died a couple years ago. And so she walked that property a lot during her lunch breaks and with her girlfriends, etc. And for years, we just go out there because, like, I'm serious. You go out there and it's tulip season. Oh my goodness. You go out there and it's hydrangea season. Oh, or the rose bushes or whatever. Well, we went out there yesterday, my husband and I, because it's fall and it's just insanely gorgeous. So I posted some stuff in my stories. If you care, you can go back and look at them, but just so beautiful. So anyway, so we were out there, we're walking around and I was talking about my mom and we called my mom Shirley Girl. And I was talking to him about how, my mother has walked these exact same paths all these years ago and da, 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 da. And I said, you know what? I've got this customer and her name is Shirley. I said, and I told her I'm going to call her Shirley Girl after my mom. And so anyway, so your name came up, Shirley, because, there aren't that many Shirleys in the world, probably. I mean, back then it was probably, my mom was probably being named after Shirley Temple. I don't know. But anyway, there you go. So Patty says she's had brittle nails, but they're getting stronger. Yep. Very, very good. Oh, did you freeze up, Shirley? Her connection might have frozen up. Okay, so let's go on then. Number 4, heart racing when you're just sitting still. Insulin activates the sympathetic nervous system. So you have this wired but tired feeling. Okay. So you think you're anxious for no reason. You're like, what's going on? Like, I'm having some palpitations. What's going on? Is something bad happening, right? But your metabolism is like on high alert. Your insulin is high and it's activating your sympathetic nervous system. This is why when I talk to you guys about how, like when I, when you're on my site and you can see the magnesium ashwagandha combo, I take those at night. Perfect to help with that. Perfect. Because now you're talking about magnesium is fixing all of those areas that, there's like 300 to 600 functions in the body that magnesium needs, something crazy like that. And the ashwagandha helps with stress. So to bring that down. Number 5 is you feel inflamed or puffy after you've worked out. So after you've exercised. So instead of recovery, your insulin and cortisol, they're spiking together like this. And I always say that insulin and cortisol, they're like sister hormones. I don't know if that's true. That's just how I see it in my head. They're like sister hormones. So you leave the gym feeling swollen instead of strong. Okay. It's not you. It's literally your chemistry. All right. And then the last one is needing caffeine all day to function. That was my 30s in a nutshell. I just drank coffee all day long. I woke up and I'd make a big pot with my International Delight creamers or my Coffee Mate creamers. And so I was drinking sugar right away. And I just kept doing sugar and caffeine all day long. That's how I ended up as a 2X when I was 50, because I was just like addicted to caffeine and sugar both. And it was like no bueno, right? Not good at all. But your cells are resistant to glucose. So your energy can't get in. So remember the job of insulin. Your sugar spikes, your pancreas releases insulin like a Pac-Man to go gobble, gobble, gobble the sugar and take it into your cell. But when your cell is resistant, it is being resistant to insulin. That's what it means to be insulin resistant. So now that sugar, the fuel that was supposed to get into your cell, it can't get in there. And now your cell doesn't have any energy. And you're like, you're so tired. So you're like, I need coffee. I need sugar. I need energy. And you're living in that state, right? So caffeine becomes like a crutch. All right. So you don't have a coffee problem. You have a cellular energy problem. This is why we want to turn around insulin resistance. This is why. Oh, it's all good now. Very good. Joan says, my pics of the road trips were beautiful. You are so welcome, Joan. Yeah, so fun. I love fall. In fact, I would like to take it another step further, and I'd like to go out east in the fall. So for all of you that are out in the Vermont area, Philadelphia, New York, I would love to go out to where you guys are in the fall and really enjoy some of those amazing landscapes. I think that's probably been on my bucket list now ever since I used to take a look at those. What were those magazines? It was called Country, and they were these gorgeous magazines where the pages were like super glossy and amazing, and the photography was like over the top amazing. Okay, so when I talk to women about turning around their insulin resistance so that you can get the results you're looking for, you can't burn fat if your insulin is high and your liver is sluggish. You can't, how else are you going to finally get your body to bring down that hormone and get your cell to open up? You're wanting to go from resistant to sensitive. Okay, resistant to sensitive. Now, I talk about food all the time. That was a very big victory for me. to be able to trade out my food ingredients as an Italian girl. And I talk about that in the group mainly, ditch insulin resistance for women. And if you want it in there, you can search it, and then you can just give your email and you can get in. Town and Country, is that what it was, Deborah? Gorgeous magazines. Just, I remember sitting like at the dentist when my kids were younger, and they would have those types of magazines, and I would just be like, and I think it set like in my heart that I wanted to go out east and see that level of, like Amish country. We have Amish country, southern Minnesota, but it's not the same as what's, like all of those fall colors out there. Amazing. So in order to be able to fix what got you into the pickle to begin with, that's the food portion. And I love teaching how you can still be a foodie and trade out your ingredients. You're just choosing to build a different pantry. And that's what I did. And that's what I get to show you in the group. But if you're looking to accelerate, and don't forget at the very beginning of this live, I told you that not only do they have the customer campaign where when you purchase 150 or more 3 months in a row, you get $75 off your third product. Right now, it's literally going to be like in December, you can do the 75, and then you continue it into January. And then in January, you're going to get another 50. And I mean, you're going to have months where you're just going to be cashing in, break, cash in. So I just want you to know that this exists, right? I might not be able to give you a super clear visual on it. Maybe I'm going to have to post the image literally that I just got in the email. Maybe I have to do that so you can see and understand. But I just want you to know that this is happening. It's happening. It's like Santa's coming. That's how I feel. I know I'm a geek, but you have to understand, I always feel very responsible to make sure that you guys don't miss out on a deal. This comes from my Italian father, by the way. So this is a very authentic conversation from my dad. So when I started so the Total Body Reset are 6 products. Some people do just parts of it. Some people do all of it. I would say the majority of you do all of it, but some of you just do the trio. Some of you just do the gut reset. I had somebody this morning only buy the primer and the probiotic, the gut reset. Perfect. Start where you need to start. Okay. That's what you have to do. I feel like I'm missing something. Hold on. Nope, I'm not. Okay, I'm good. So here we go. So the trio is where I started, and TikTok, I will just pray that you don't give me anything today. No violations today. Anyway, so I just can't show you guys stuff. Anyway, 3 of these SUPPs, 3 SUPs that have 3 ingredients that help with insulin sensitivity. This is where I started. I was a 2X in size. I needed to have help to bring down insulin and sugars. I needed help. My liver, it was sluggish. And my metabolism, I guess I thought maybe it was dead. I didn't understand a cellular conversation. So this is where I started, trio. These are the trio. That's half of the Total Body Reset right there. That's half of it, right? Then there is a gut reset. And this is where I was telling you, she bought just this morning, just the primer and the probiotic. The primer has 6 different blends inside of it. So you have everything from the pre and postbiotics and the digestive enzymes, the fermented greens, the alkaline spices, all the goodness. So what that means is that if you're somebody that doesn't have a gallbladder and you need your liver to be loved, remember in the trio, there's something for your liver. This is for your liver. And then I will have one more thing. So half of it is all about your liver, because if you have a sluggish liver, you cannot burn fat. If you have high insulin, you cannot burn fat. If you are spiking your insulin all day long because you are snacking, and trust me, I get it. I'm a snacker. I'm learning how to not be a snacker all the time. I'm getting better and better all the time. We have to be able to eat really good, solid protein and then not eat again for 4, 5, 6 hours and give our body a rest from high insulin. Do you understand? So if you don't have a gallbladder, your liver is on the backup. You have constipation, you have indigestion, you have diarrhea. You have leaky gut. You're not absorbing your nutrients. You're not sleeping well at night. You're super exhausted. Your gut needs to be the first point of being fixed. This is the fourth in the 6 that I talk about. Number 4, number 5 is this. These are 5 live strains right on your tongue. This one I mix in water and I just take it like a wellness shot, just like that. Very green tea-esque. This is a powder on your tongue, 5 live strains, because you have to recalibrate your microbiome. Okay. And then the last one is the orange pixie stick. This is what's targeting the visceral fat. I don't know how to be as without being obnoxious or dramatic. Like if you understood that everybody who, and I'm not a doctor, so I'm just going to speak from my own perspective. This is my own opinion. Everybody who is insulin resistant has visceral fat, because that's what's happening. Is your insulin is a fat storing hormone, and it's not laying down fat on the inside of your knees. Although we might gain fat there, but it's laying down fat, visceral fat in your organs. So when somebody says to me, I did a year, which she's on here. I did a year doing the total body reset and changing all my foods. And my MRI, my actual MRI went from a fatty liver that was bad to mild liver. Okay. I won't make any guarantees. That would be irresponsible of me, but I will tell you. Just going to tell you. Okay. So this was actually created for the sports nutrition line, and it is created to target visceral fat. Like it says it on the website, target visceral fat, your BMI. So what's really cool about that is when you can target like that, you can get your body to function at a higher level. Now you are in the market to burn fat. Now you are in a position for your body to deliver results for you. You have to get there where it will, instead of delivering bad gas mileage for you, instead of delivering exhaustion for you, your body can only do whatever you get it to deliver. So how we eat, if we eat McDonald's 3 times a day and we eat like trash, it will deliver a result for us, just not the result that we wanted. Does that make sense? So if we want it to deliver high octane energy or peaceful sleep or balanced bathroom habits, I have somebody with short gut syndrome who was like running to the bathroom 15 times a day, if you know what I mean. She was like, that's been years of my life. Talk about being disrupting. And so she was very nervous about starting the primer, but it wasn't long. And she was like, oh no, this is good. This is good. And it changed her life. Right. So that's why that's important. Now I do have a site, and it's my first last name.com. And if you're on Facebook or you're on YouTube, it's right there. And in fact, that's telling you can get a free protein blueprint right there. And up there, it's telling you that if you go on my profile, there is my site. There's a free protein blueprint. So this is what it looks like when you get on. This is my face. And if you scroll up like this, hold on, because I'm going to show you where to look for everything I just told you about. But first, I'm going to show you the free stuff. So scroll up past my before and after pictures. Right here, free stuff. Free protein blueprint. There's the egg white protein bread, the sugar-free chocolate pudding, etc. But right up here, and those are that's Maria Emmerich. She's amazing. She's amazing. So I took her recipes, I tweaked them just because I tweak everything. But she has been such a trade out genius. You know, if you go down to my Amazon finds, whichever one that is, you'll see it on there, right there. You'll see that her book is like the first thing on there on my list. And it's not going to come up. That's okay. We don't have to worry about that. So back to the top. So these top 4 right there, this is what I just talked about. Total body reset is right there. The gut reset is right there. The trio all by itself is right there. Super easy. Okay. Oh, now it comes up. These are the Amazon finds. That's Maria Emmerich's book, The 30-Day Ketogenic Cleanse. if you're looking for a good book. It makes it so that you believe that you can actually love food and lose weight at the same time. Grain-free, sugar-free, legume-free. And you're like, how can this be? She's really good. Okay. I just wanted you to know that she's really good. All right. So back here. So those are the 4 right there. Yesterday, just to let you know, for anybody who was on with me the last couple of days, 2 days ago, we talked about the lion's mane and the horny goat weed that were just launched. That button is right here. Oh, it's okay. I put that button on this morning. It just hasn't updated here. So it's there for you. And then under that is the magnesium and ashwagandha. But everything that you're looking for, you can find on, and then it's a short website. That's it. That's literally it. One little page. Okay. Contact info, everything. A way to ask me questions. Like, don't sabotage your own movement forward. Don't do that, because then you're going to be hitting January 1st and you're like, oh my gosh, number one, I could have done October, November, December and cashed in, but I would have also been that much further on my journey before the beginning of the year hit. And so instead of being like a total train wreck, all the way just piling through December to get to the end of the year, and now you're bloated and you're just mad at yourself. You didn't even try, and all of those things. You can be in a completely different place. You could be having like daily, bowel movements. You could be having like cravings that are quiet. You could be having food noise that's going down. You could be having like a sense of well-being. You could be having a different way to navigate your holidays, right? I'm just telling you, it could be completely different. But make sure that you ask me questions, and always make sure that listen, you can do whatever you want, but don't check out as a guest. If you check out as a guest, you can't take advantage of the customer campaign if you're not a registered customer. It's a registered customer campaign. I should probably make sure that I call it that in there. So does anybody have any questions this morning before we jump off for the weekend and we go into our amazing weekends? I have such a good weekend planned. We have a business retreat here in Minneapolis. We have friends coming in from all over the country. We're going to do everything from like dream building to dream building exercises around the cities. And we're going to do a session at Feed My Starving Children. And we're going to pack food. We've just got really good things going for this weekend. And I hope you do too. I hope you have things that are exciting for you. Yesterday, I talked to you about finding a recipe that you could try this weekend. What is one thing you could try that you could then replicate throughout the Christmas season and make it so that that's your go-to to keep in the fridge for you, or it's your go-to to bring to everybody else's houses every time you're invited to something, or find something that you can do for yourself over the weekend. Okay. I have no idea. See, again, like, you're so funny. I'm talking about recipes, TikTok. Recipes. You mixed your orange pixie stick with full-fat Greek yogurt. Magda, that is such a good tip. That is a really good tip. Did it taste like if you added, you could also add like vanilla stevia, liquid vanilla stevia, I bet, and make it like a dreamsicle or vanilla extract. Heidi, your youngest granddaughter's first birthday party. Oh, they're the best, aren't they? They're just the best. Whatever. I have 3 little boys and I miss them. I just miss them all the time. They only live 20 minutes from me and I miss them all the time. Does it record so you can watch from the beginning? It does. So the recording will be on my wall on Insta. Or you can always, any one of you can always go over to my tube place, my tube you place, and subscribe. And it gets streamed over there. Every single day we do this, it gets logged onto that page. So if you're ever wanting replays and you're like, you don't know where, because it can be confusing on Facebook sometimes. It can be confusing, different places. It doesn't save on TikTok. Go to the tube channel thingamajigger. Terry says she's going to be trying that Magda. I think that's a brilliant idea. And I'm not kidding. I think I'm going to, I have caramel liquid stevia. I think the next time I'm going to buy vanilla and I'm going to see what that tastes like, because why not? And a small, or you could just buy an Oikos vanilla yogurt, 000, right? So which Ninja ice cream maker do you suggest? The prices vary a lot. They do. And so actually what I did, Marilyn, just to kind of let you know, on my, and you guys can decide whether or not this is a good idea for you. Okay. So on my page, when you go down to my Amazon list right here, I'm going to pull it up again. Right here's my Amazon list. Actually on this list, I have, let's see, is it right here? I have this right here, but this is actually a refurbished company. It's a company that does refurbishes. So hold on. I'm going to see what the price is on this one today. See, and this is where I get flagged on there, because I tell you guys, that's what happens. See, I talk about things and they think I'm personally shipping them to you. So this one right now today, it's refurbished. It's in excellent condition and it's $188.99 instead of $250. Okay. So you can decide whether, but I put those on there because I thought they have free returns on them. And maybe that's a better way, in my opinion. And this one is the Creamy Deluxe 11-in-1. I personally like the Deluxe. This is just me. It gives me 3 of the containers that I can rotate. And I'm going to tell you, hands down, the best ice cream that it makes for me is when I make the sugar-free chocolate pudding. And I put that into a container and I turn that into ice cream. The sugar-free chocolate pudding is on my site and it is, let's see here. It is made with coconut milk, and you can choose whether or not you want coconut milk as a base, or if you wanted to do half and half, you could. But right down here where the free stuff is, below my picture, 3 things that are free. One of them happens to be the sugar-free chocolate pudding right here. Okay, right there. And that is made with cooked egg whites for the protein, a can of coconut milk, cocoa, vanilla, and you make it in a blender. This is a Maria Emmerich. She separates hers out. I use like a pint instead. I just do it differently. But she's, in my opinion, she's the originator of these things. And then nice, I know, Marilyn. Then you turn that into ice cream. So I'm just telling you. It's so good. I like coconut though. I love the coconut taste. So chocolate coconut pudding to me is amazing. That tastes very good. You have a creamy, but you need recipes. 3 granddaughters, 4 2-in-1. Mine are 4 3-in-1. I'm so excited. I love my babies so much. Yep. Magda says, let me know how you like it, Terry. You didn't think you'd like it, but it was fabulous. What's that, Deborah? What did you think you weren't going to like? I would love to know. I feel like I'm missing some comments on here. So you know what? I haven't found a ton of, you can go find a Facebook group. That's a creamy Facebook group, and you can find recipes and then just trade out the sweeteners and stuff like that. The thing is that I find that they're using a lot of sweetened condensed milk, which I'm sure tastes amazing, but it's not keto. So that's why for me, making the pudding and turning that into ice cream has made me very happy. Now you could probably, and maybe this is what I have to try, I could probably make that pudding without cocoa. And then maybe that would taste a little boring, but I could take my caramel stevia and turn that into caramel. And even though I might not like that as a pudding, potentially, I wonder if I froze it in a creamy, if that would make it like a good, because the other thing that I do is that, so I have grass-fed whey protein in my line. And it's a part of the sports nutrition line, just like this is. And it's strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate. I will use those as bases for protein to make mixes and put them in my creamy as well. So for me, that works out really well too. You just bought coconut milk yesterday. Love how God takes care of things. Isn't that the truth, Marilyn? I know. It was actually kind of funny because yesterday I went thrifting with my husband and I said, because we just love to go run around. And anyway, we were having fun. I said, these are the exact type of pants that I'm looking for. And I just verbalized it to him. I'm like, and I need it because then I've got these boots that I could wear with it. And then I've got these boots on, and I'm just talking to him. And he's like, oh, okay. Literally the next place we went, I found the perfect pants. I was like, oh my gosh, like they were perfect. So I understand, Marilyn. You and I are speaking the same language. The chocolate pudding, you didn't think you'd like it, but it was fabulous. The chocolate pudding. I know because it sounds weird. And I feel like that's what Maria Emmerich has been overcoming all these years, sounding super weird. Like, because she'll say things like, instead of using lasagna noodles in your lasagna, go buy chicken deli breast, sliced chicken deli breast, and use that for the noodles. And you're like, well, that sounds weird. But I'll tell you, especially when I go to the deli and I say, will you slice my chicken breast on a number 2 on the slicer? And so it has a little bit of thickness to it. And then you make a lasagna. I've had more people say how shocked they were by that and how their family was like, they were like, this is amazing. And then you're just not eating, because you're not eating lasagna for the noodles. So it's the same thing with that chocolate pudding where you're like, cooked egg whites in a pudding. What's that? You don't even know. It's giving it texture. It's it's blending it up. They're cooked. And it's turning it into the girthiness of the pudding. And it's high protein. You would have no idea. And, the reason why I think it's kind of funny that we think things sound weird, we've never been reading the ingredients of all the foods to begin with. Like, we probably didn't even know egg white powder has been used in everything all of these years anyway, or dried milk powder, or we've been doing this forever. We just didn't know. So anyway, but it is so good. My husband says that pudding reminds him of the pudding that he ate as a little boy. It must have come in cups or something. He thought that was amazing. So next you will try the egg white bread. You know it is going to be okay. You were doubting. I know. Well, and that's that one some people don't like. I love it. But what I do with that is, so when you make the egg white protein bread, you're using egg whites, and then you are using an egg white protein powder. And I've just made it hundreds of times now at this point, right? But when I make it, number one, I don't add the allulose in it for the golden brownness. That's just me. I don't care. So I only use egg whites, egg white protein powder, cream of tartar, salt. I think I literally do only those 4 ingredients. I make the loaf in my parchment paper, in my loaf pan. I use a stone. When it comes out 45 minutes later, I lay it on its side on a rack. I peel off the parchment paper, and then I let it completely cool. It will lose volume. But then I like to cut it super thin and then like fry it for toast with my eggs, or put it in an air fryer, or turn it into French toast. But one of my favorites is probably using it as a grilled cheese. It makes a really good grilled cheese sandwich. So if you cut it thin enough, it's not as, because, it's an egg white bread. So it's definitely a different texture. It's not wheat. Like, we shouldn't be confused, but it really does replace that. You could cut it thin. You could put butter on it with some garlic and a little bit of mozzarella and put it under your broiler and have garlic toast. I just don't think people realize the variations that you could do with that if you'll take the time to learn how to make it, if you'll nail the recipe. Just saying. It's a really good one. So Meg says club. I think I might have missed. I might have missed a comment, Meg. Doesn't show me all my comments. You didn't think you would like the pudding either, Terry says, but now I always have it on hand. It's a good one. You do not need to have. Oh, Heidi says, I want to try your pudding, still unpacking from our recent move and need to find my blender yet. I understand. Oh my gosh. We've been moving since, my mom passed 2.5 years ago. So we moved and then we moved again, whatever. And real estate in Minnesota is just like, volume is low. So we are in limbo, so to speak. And a lot of things are in storage. And I'm like, why did I put that in storage? And then I need to go dig it out. So I totally get that very, very much so. But yeah, so Meg, if you said something club sandwich, maybe that's true, Deborah. That could be true. I don't know, but you absolutely, yep, it would be a very good. Marilyn says, oh, yum. I know, look at us chatting food right before the weekend. It's a good time to do it because I feel like the weekend is a good opportunity. You don't have to have a ton of recipes. You do not have to have a cookbook filled with recipes that you are rotating every single week. Now, you might want a good cookbook like, Maria Emmerich's Ketogenic Cleanse, good recipes for sure. But you don't have to have that many things in your repertoire in order to enjoy your life. So you just get a couple good ones. The egg white bread, the chocolate pudding, just a couple of really good standbys. And you might be surprised at how you're like, wow, like Terry said, gosh, I didn't even know I was going to like that pudding. And now I just keep it on hand because now that became your meal prep. That became the new thing that you do. And then I'm telling you, you then don't feel like you are so deprived by the time you hit a holiday party or the time you hit, there are so many parties that I will go to now this Christmas season. That's just the way that it is. But I never have to sit around and feel like, oh, I'm so deprived and I never get to indulge. No, I can make all of that at home just differently. And you know what? You either are there and you've got it when you get home, or you have something before you leave and you're like, I'm good. And because you're eating real food, you're satiated. It's when you're eating all of the processed food on a regular basis that you never feel quite satisfied because you're not. Your body's like, your cells are starving because you're insulin resistant. So once you get to the point where your cells aren't starving anymore and you're eating real food, think about that chocolate pudding. It's literally egg whites, cocoa, coconut milk, vanilla, salt. Maybe there's some cinnamon in there. I mean, you can or cannot, doesn't matter, but it's all real food. So when you eat something like that, there's nothing in there that is, there's sweetener in there. There's nothing in there that is like addictive, like what is in the food supply now. So when you eat something and you feel like you just have to have more of it, there are addictive ingredients in the food supply. The food industry just took over where the tobacco industry left off and they couldn't advertise anymore. I don't know if you know that or not, but that's just where that happened. So all I'm saying is you can feel full and satiated, go to a Christmas party and not feel like you're clamoring for everything that they have out. And again, remember yesterday we talked about how perfection isn't your goal. For the holiday season, it's not perfection that's your goal. Your goal is progression. What if you did 20% better this season than you did last season? It could be higher. You could go for more. But what if you just realize that over the next couple of years, your Christmas season got more and more and more in control? And you didn't beat yourself up or shame yourself or whatever, but instead of hitting January and you're like, I'm the fattest I've ever been. I'm the most bloated I've ever been. Absolutely nothing that I bought in October for the season fits me anymore. I feel like trash. I'm totally exhausted. I have no hope or belief that I can ever change my story. And here we are at January 1st. Woo-hoo, happy freaking new year. Like instead of doing that, what if it was like, oh my gosh, like I actually navigated a couple of those parties pretty dang well. Wow. Or I actually was consistent with my supplementation that entire time. That's not usually me. I'm usually pretty undisciplined and I allow myself to kind of go haywire. Or like the customer that I had over Thanksgiving, New Year's, and Christmas, she lost 25 pounds. That is another option of a story, right? So you've got these different variations, but what if it's just way better than it's been in the past and you don't trash yourself, right? You don't fear the holidays thanks to these trade outs. Marilyn, I'm so glad. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. I'm so glad. Yes. Because seriously, you're writing your own story. You're writing your own narrative. And 5 years from now, that version of you that is 5 years older will thank you that this Christmas season you tried something a little different. Just telling you, And it's a privilege to age. It's a privilege. Not everybody gets the opportunity to age. So if we are on this earth right now and we are aging and we have the ability to help our body function at a higher level so that we can actually enjoy our families and our grandbabies and feel good, then this is such a gift. It's a gift that you give to yourself, right? So if you need any information about the Total Body Reset, if you want to accelerate your results, these 6 products, that's the wholeness of it. My site is kirstenliebelt.com, KirstenLiebelt. I have free resources there. I have the Total Body Reset there. I have tons of stuff available for you. It's right there on the screen for Facebook and YouTube. And then if you have questions at the bottom of that page, there's contact information. Just check out as a registered customer so that you can literally cash in. I'm not going to explain it again. You can go back and watch the replay, but there is cash to be had. December, January, February. They just have a lot going on right now. And somebody's literally saying, if you will be consistent, you get to cash out. It's never been a better season to do it. So we can choose our own outcome. We do. We write our own story. So, all right. Have the best weekend ever. Do something for yourself. Do something that makes a memory because you can, because you're here and God gave you another day. Make a memory. Try a different. My Facebook just started to black out on me. That's hilarious. Sorry, Facebook. Try a new recipe if you can. I'll ask you about it on Monday. We'll see who made what this weekend. And we'll talk to you later. So bye, you guys. Love you so much. Have such a great day.